Streamlined is, I think, the perfect word to describe Hero Academia. Everything is polished to be as sharp and aerodynamic as possible. The exposition, character arcs, designs? Alright, who accidentally turned on the straight line tool and didn't know how to turn it back off again? One of the most phenomenal examples of Hero Arca's streamlining, though, is Shoto's character arc, which very cleverly and efficiently delivers its exposition. There's about 2.5 minutes of flashback for Todoroki's whole arc, which, if you're familiar with Naruto, is a mountain of difference. In fact, even comparing this to another popular grilled character, Zuko, there's a slight difference in execution that makes handling this exposition a hell of a lot more streamlined and engaging, at least in the moment. You can definitely argue that the slower paced development of Zuko had more power even though it was, more spread out, which I probably would argue that. But hey, Todoroki's arc doesn't even seem to be completely done anyway. I don't know, I haven't read the manga. Maybe he's punched his father and Bakugo has already run off to join Orochimaru. I don't know, anything could have happened. But for the purposes of making as strong episodes as possible in the shortest amount of time, you have to get every piece of info up until the burning and get it out as quickly and as effectively as possible. So this is How to Correctly Burn Your Child. God, I am already struggling to make the titles I need to match these algorithms. Oh, by the way, dub haters, you may rest at ease. Unlike my fellow anime YouTubers, I'll be using the far superior subs for my clips, because they're better in every conceivable way. Can I please have a round of applause for the amazing original Japanese?
Clap your hands!
So, to fulfill the required exposition for Todoroki, there is a bunch of things we have to clear. We have to explain Endeavor's ambitions, what quirk marriages are, why engines are traits of evolution, that Endeavor married his wife through a quirk marriage, that said wife poured boiling water on their son, that Endeavor is abusive, and then finally that Todoroki had good moments with his mother and that, along with All Might, was the backbone of why he wants to be a hero. The first chunk of this is handled after the cavalry game, and this is mostly flat exposition, but what's clever about all of this and eases the entrance and execution of the exposition is Todoroki's declaration of war. The line of logic that Midoriya seems to be connected to before and after man, and therefore is a good hurdle to prove himself, is very clever. It simultaneously drives mystery for this upcoming exposition, but also situates Todoroki to exposit this stuff to him rather than just flashing back. Because the problem with flashbacks is that they restrict you from using change as a core engagement. If it was just Endeavor marrying a girl and then popping out a selectively bred child, it's like, fuck it, whatever. And that problem isn't just restricted to flashbacks either. With Zuko, you get half the exposition with Iroh talking to some crew members, and technically because of this there's some relationship or opinion change, but these random minors don't have the investment that Izuku and Todoroki have. By framing it with these two talking to each other, there's a sense that this relationship is changing, something that wouldn't be possible with a flashback. Now Deku knows something new about Shoto. That changes things. By the way, I know this is technically telling while a flashback would be showing, but fuck you. Show don't tell is a very oversimplified concept. There's a lot of reason to break that rule, and this is one of them. Oh, and speaking of being contrarian, go fuck yourself, Pokemon Tom. Tsu's best goal by far. I don't know why y'all are so confused by people wanting to sex a frog anyway. Shit's obvious, frogs come pre-lubed. That said, Mina was going to be my first choice if it wasn't for the fact that that would be the equivalent of sticking my dick inside a car battery. Now, granted, the writer kinda had to have this conversation between these two, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to have Deku trigger Todoroki's development later, but I have a feeling a lesser writer would have just had Deku spout something about him not wanting to become a hero since he's holding back, and have that be the excuse for Todoroki to hit boiling point. Ooh, bad joke? Sorry, I didn't realize it was such a hot water issue. Either way, it's a much cleaner execution rather than just ramming all this exposition into the final fight. Anyway, that first chunk leads you into your next line of interest, that Todoroki's mother poured boiling water on him for some reason. Assumedly because she's a crazy bitch, but there's some level of, more info please? Like, was she just born like that? Or is it because she has to fuck someone who's probably got pubes of literal fucking fire? When that second chunk of exposition comes in to explain it, just like the first chunk, you're already interested. So from here, we learn Endeavor is abusive, and that's the reason Shoto's mother lost her shit. And because of that, when Shoto starts to remember a bunch of the good things about his mother, it's not confusing to us. With that potential problem corrected, the final piece of flashback and exposition begins, and there's two smart elements to this. Firstly, the previous line of dialogue leads Deku to saying, "Kimi no tsukara janai ka!" And the line of logic here is that triggers a memory that Shoto has long forgotten. This flashback isn't just a stupid fucking flashback, it's inherently the line of logic used to trigger this change of heart. Even smarter though, they use the quiet of the flashback to create a dramatic contrast of tone that builds and explodes at the moment of character development. That is how you make a high impact moment. If you actually round up all the exposition and flashbacks, Todoroki comes in at about 4 minutes while Zuko comes in at about 3.5. But that's just in the episode The Storm alone. Across the series you also have the Azula and Ursa flashbacks and the exposition on Agnikais and such. All things you could debatably count. So this is a great example of the refinement and pacing Hiroaka is known for. But hey, that's Hiroaka's thing. It takes a lot of inspiration from other places and gives a really tight, strong execution. Todoroki himself is probably inspired by Zuko. Hell, if you read the comics, you find out Zuko's mother was also in an arranged marriage, so yeah, that's probably a pretty strong definite. So yeah, good work, Hiroaka. You handled something better than Avatar did. Now, try making me bawl my eyes out.